got an article from The Atlantic that outlines the Capitol rioters aren't like other extremists. We analyzed 193 people arrested in connection with the January 6th riot and found a new kind of American radicalism. On January 6th, a mob of about 800 stormed the U.S. Capitol in support of the former president, Donald Trump, and many people made quick assumptions regarding who the insurrectionists were, because a number of the rioters prominently displayed symbols of right-wing militias. For instance, some experts called for a crackdown on such groups. Violence organized and carried out by a far-right militant organizations is disturbing, but it at least falls into a category familiar to law enforcement and the general public. However, a closer look at the people suspected of taking part in the Capitol riot suggests a different and potentially far more dangerous problem, a new kind of violent mass movement in which, quote, normal Trump supporters, middle class, and in many cases, middle-aged people without obvious ties to the far right, joined with extremists in an attempt to overturn a presidential election. To understand the events of January 6th and devise solutions to prevent their reoccurrence, Americans need a fine-grained comprehension of who attacked the Capitol. Understanding the ideology and beliefs of those who commit political violence is important, but so is knowing what kind of people they are and what their lives are like. So again, we've got some data here. Right-wing extremist arrests from 2015 to 2020. Unaffiliated citizens accounted for 52%. When it comes to the Capitol insurrection attempt, 89% of them were unaffiliated citizens. And again, a lot of these people are business owners. A lot of them are business owners. So I want to get into this. By these standards, 20 of the Capitol arrests we studied, 1/10 can be classified as supporters of gangs, militias, or militia-like groups, such as the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and Three Percenters. The role that such groups played in the riot has attracted considerable news coverage, but 89% of the arrestees have no apparent affiliation with any known militant organization. Connections were far more common among the suspected right-wing extremists' arrests after incidents of deadly violence from 2015 to 2020. Of these, 26% were members of white nationalist gangs, including skinhead groups and the Aryan Brotherhood, and 22% were part of militias and other organized groups. Third, the demographic profile of the suspected Capitol rioters is different from that of past right-wing extremists. The average age of the arrestees we studied is 40. 2/3 are 35 and older, and 40% are business owners or hold white-collar jobs. Unlike the stereotypical extremist, many of the alleged participants in the Capitol riot have a lot to lose. They work as CEOs, shop owners, doctors, lawyers, IT specialists, and accountants. Strikingly, court documents indicate that only 9% are unemployed. Of the earlier far-right extremist suspects we studied, 61% were under 35, 25% were unemployed, and almost none worked in white-collar occupations. These are motherfucking business owners, dude. Right, and you can look at some more data here about the ages. But again, you can read this article yourself later. But I wanted to tie that in because, again, 40% of these people are business owners or are high up in businesses. These are white-collar, gangsters, basically. Again, I covered that story about this fucking cud lady who's like, I want to go to Mexico with my employees. Right? Hello, Max. Again, these people are these are the people that think, oh, I'm the business. Remember, there was the quote of someone, the cops aren't supposed to come do this to us. We're not black. Remember, someone said that at the Capitol insurrection. These people think that the entirety of American society is based on them and only them, and that everyone else is irrelevant. They literally, and I shit you not, they literally thought that, the cops would let them in, and they did. The cops let them in, right? And they literally thought, oh, of course the cops aren't going to go after us, right? We're not black people. And guess what? Some of them didn't, but some of them did. And this was the problem, right? And again, there were so many Whoa, Maxie, do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. There are so many of these people that were off-duty police officers that stormed the Capitol, right? And so you have to understand that these people are crazy. And it's not just like, trailer park, white trash or whatever that the liberal media wants you to think, right? These are college-educated people that went to, like, fucking libertarian, fucking economic, like, oh, I'm an economist, right? These are the people that believe that there's no such thing as a free lunch and all that stupid bullshit, right? Seriously, it's ridiculous, it's ludicrous, and we need to really understand that the business owner class is a class that is not for us, they're not going to help us, and they're only going to hurt us. Plain and simple. So, there you go.